1961. The Beatles haven't arrived yet. Kennedy just became president. And these 20 songs absolutely dominated the airwaves. But here's the thing. Most people today have completely forgotten them. Let's change that. Because these tracks, they're pure gold. I'm taking you back 64 years. Back when your grandparents were dancing at the sock hop. When radios were the size of suitcases. And when these songs were the soundtrack to America. Some you might recognize. Others? Prepare to be blown away. Let's dive in. Will You Love Me Tomorrow? The Shirelles. We're starting at number 20 with a song that changed everything. This wasn't just a hit. It was revolutionary. 4 teenage girls from New Jersey asking a question no one dared to ask on the radio. Will You Still Respect Me in the Morning? Written by Carole King when she was just 19 years old. Think about that. A teenager writing about grown-up doubts and bedroom promises. It became the first #1 hit by an African-American girl group. The strings swell. The harmonies ache. And Shirley Owen's voice trembles with vulnerability. This song opened doors. Paved the way for Diana Ross, the Supremes, and every girl group that followed. New Orleans, Gary U.S. Bonds. Number 19 takes us to a sweaty dance floor. Gary U.S. Bonds shouting New Orleans, like his life depends on it. This track is pure chaos in the best possible way. The production is raw, almost amateur. You can barely understand the lyrics through all the echo and reverb. But that's exactly why it worked. It sounds like a party you weren't invited to but desperately want to crash. Gary recorded this in a tiny studio in Norfolk, Virginia. The engineer cranked up the echo to hide the cheap equipment. Instead, he accidentally created a sound that was utterly unique. Kids went insane for it. It spent 15 weeks on the charts. And yes, there really is a place down in New Orleans where people dance all night long. Poetry in Motion, Johnny Tillotson. At number 18 we've got pure teenage sweetness. Johnny Tillotson's Poetry in Motion. This is what innocence sounds like. Johnny was barely 20 when he recorded this. Fresh-faced, wholesome. The kind of guy your parents actually approved of. The song compares a girl to poetry. To a beautiful melody. To everything pure and good in the world. No hidden meanings. No double entendres. Just a boy absolutely smitten. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Blocked from the top spot by Elvis. Which, honestly, was pretty much the story for everyone in 1961. But here's what's wild. This song has been covered over 200 times. In 15 different languages. From Tokyo to Paris, people connected with Johnny's simple, honest adoration. Wonderland by Night, Louis Prima. Number 17 is the wild card. Louis Prima's version of Wonderland by Night. Now you might be thinking, wait, didn't we already mention this song? Yes, because 3 different artists had hit versions of the exact same instrumental in 1961. That's how massive this melody was. Prima was the Las Vegas showman. The guy who voiced King Louie in the Jungle Book. His version has swagger, jazz inflections, a trumpet that feels like it's winking at you. While Burt Kaempfert's original topped the charts, Prima's interpretation captured the glitz and glamour of the Vegas Strip. Close your eyes and you can see the neon lights. Smell the cigarette smoke. Feel the electric energy of the Rat Pack era. Different vibe. Same magic. Rubber ball, I come bouncing back to you. Rubber Ball, Bobby V. Bouncing into number 16, Bobby was just 17. His voice still had that teenage crack. That relatable boy-next-door quality. The song is about resilience after heartbreak. You knock me down, I bounce right back. Like a rubber ball. It's simple. It's catchy. And it absolutely refuses to leave your head. Written by Gene Pitney and Aaron Schroeder. Two guys who understood what teenagers wanted to hear. Bobby V had replaced Buddy Holly after Holly's tragic plane crash just 2 years earlier. Heavy shoes to fill. But Bobby carved out his own identity. This song spent 11 weeks on the charts. Peaked at number 6. And it introduced the world to a young songwriter named Gene Pitney, who'd soon become a star in his own right.
Rubber ball, I'm bouncing back to you, rubber ball.
Perfidia, The Ventures. Number 15 takes us instrumental. Perfidia by The Ventures. 4 guys from Tacoma, Washington who basically invented surf rock. This isn't an original song. It's a 1930s Mexican bolero, about betrayal and heartbreak, but The Ventures stripped away the words, added reverb-drenched guitars, and created something entirely new. The guitar tone is instantly recognizable, like sunlight on ocean waves. This track inspired thousands of teenagers to pick up electric guitars. The Ventures sold over 100 million records worldwide. More than the Beach Boys. More than most rock bands you can name. Yet somehow they're criminally underrated. Perfidia showed that you didn't need words to tell a story. Sometimes 6 strings say everything. Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee. At 14 we've got a holiday classic. Brenda Lee's Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Wait, a Christmas song in the top 20 of the entire year? Absolutely. Because this song has been a hit every single December since 1961. Brenda was only 13 when she recorded it. Barely 4'9". But her voice? Massive. They literally called her Little Miss Dynamite. This song took the schmaltzy Christmas tradition and gave it a rock and roll heartbeat. Suddenly, Christmas wasn't just about silent nights and holy nights. It was about dancing, kissing under the mistletoe, having fun. It's been covered hundreds of times, featured in countless movies, and it still sounds fresh today. That opening guitar riff? Instant Christmas spirit. Angel Baby, Rosie and the Originals. Number 13 is the ultimate underdog story. Angel Baby by Rosie and the Originals. Rosie Hamlin was just 15 years old, sitting in her room in San Diego, writing a song about her boyfriend. She recorded it in a tiny studio with her band. One take, barely any equipment. The audio quality is lo-fi, almost garage level. You can hear the tape hiss, but the emotion? Crystal clear. Rosie's voice wavers with genuine teenage love, completely real. Radio DJs heard it, fell in love, started playing it non-stop. It climbed all the way to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. A homemade recording by a teenager outselling professional studio productions. That's the magic of 1961, when authenticity could still beat perfection. Lonely Teenager, Dion. At number 12, Lonely Teenager by Dion. This is Dion DeMucci, the Bronx kid who survived that same plane crash that killed Buddy Holly. He gave up his seat because he didn't want to pay the $36 fare. That decision haunted him. But it also shaped his music. Lonely Teenager captures isolation in the suburbs. Being surrounded by people but feeling completely alone. It's darker than most pop songs of the era. More introspective. Dion's voice carries weight, experience, pain that a 21-year-old shouldn't already know. The doo-wop backing vocals try to lift the mood, but Dion pulls it back down to reality. This song resonated with millions of teenagers who felt exactly the same way. Misunderstood, disconnected, searching for meaning in a world that seemed designed for someone else.
I should go home, or maybe stay out on my own.
He wouldn't break your heart.
He Will Break Your Heart, Jerry Butler. Number 11 brings us Serious Soul. He Will Break Your Heart by Jerry Butler. Jerry had just left the Impressions, striking out on his own, and he needed a hit badly. Curtis Mayfield wrote this for him. A friend warning a girl about a player. A guy who's going to hurt her. The irony? Jerry sings it so smoothly, so seductively, that you kind of want him to be that heartbreaker. His voice is butter. So, absolute velvet. This was one of the first times R&B crossed over so successfully to white pop audiences. Jerry's sophistication. His polish. It broke down barriers. The orchestration is lush. Strings sweeping in like a warning you're too in love to hear. It spent 17 weeks on the charts. And it established Jerry Butler as the Iceman.
He wouldn't break your heart.
Karina, Ray Peterson. At number 10, this is an old folk song. Been around since the 1920s. Covered by everyone from Big Joe Turner to Bob Dylan. But Ray Peterson's version? Different beast entirely. He adds a heartbeat bass line. Backing vocals that sound like a Greek chorus mourning with you. And Ray's voice cracks with desperation. He's begging Karina to come back. What makes Ray unique is his range. He could hit notes that seemed impossible for a male vocalist. This recording feels haunted. Like a ghost calling out from the past. It spent 10 weeks on the charts. Peaked at number 9. And it showed that old songs could be reinvented. That tradition and innovation could dance together. Ray had a tough life. Polio as a child. Cancer later on. But his voice? Indestructible.
Where you been so long?
Sailor, Your Home is the Sea, Lolita. Number 9 takes us across the ocean. Literally. Sailor by Lolita. Lolita was an Austrian singer. This song was originally in German. Seaman, Dein Heimat ist das Meer. It's about a woman in love with a sailor. A man who belongs to the ocean. Who can never truly be hers. The English version kept that longing. That beautiful sadness. Lolita's voice has an exotic quality to American ears. Slightly accented. Deeply emotional. The production features accordion, strings, a waltz-like rhythm. This song stayed on the charts for 16 weeks. It represented America's growing fascination with international sounds. The world was getting smaller, and the radio was the window to everywhere else. You're 16, Johnny Burnett. At number 8, You're 16 by Johnny Burnett. A grown man singing to a 16-year-old girl. Different times, folks. Very different times. Johnny was a rockabilly pioneer. Started with a harder edge. But by 1961 he'd softened into pop. The song is pure bubblegum. The production is immaculate. Strings. Glockenspiel. Backing vocals that sound like sunshine. It's the sonic equivalent of a malt shop. Poodle skirts. Innocent hand-holding. Johnny had a beautiful tenor voice. Smooth without being boring. Tragically, he died just 3 years later. Drowning in a boating accident at age 30. But this song? It became timeless. Ringo Starr covered it in 1973 and took it to number 1 all over again. Proof that a great melody never dies. Many Tears Ago, Connie Francis. Number 7 belongs to America's sweetheart. Connie was the biggest female star of the late 50s and early 60s. Bigger than anyone until the Beatles showed up. This song is heartbreak set to music. She's reminiscing about a lost love. How she cried. How it still hurts. But she's moving on. Connie's voice is technically perfect. Every note placed exactly where it should be. But it's not cold. There's warmth. Vulnerability. You believe every word. The production is classic early 60s pop. Lush strings. Gentle drums. Everything designed to highlight the vocal. Connie recorded in multiple languages. Italian, German, Spanish, Japanese. She was a global phenomenon. Many Tears Ago spent 10 weeks on the charts. And it showed Connie could do vulnerability as well as she did upbeat hits. A complete artist.
For I have cried you out of my heart. should listen when
They found the bonanza gold below.
North to Alaska, Johnny Horton. At number 6 we go on an adventure. North to Alaska by Johnny Horton. This is a theme song from a John Wayne movie, same name, about the gold rush. Johnny Horton specialized in historical ballads. The Battle of New Orleans, Sink the Bismarck. He made history fun, accessible, singable. North to Alaska is upbeat, rollicking. You can picture the wagon trains.
North to Alaska,
The frontier spirit. The banjo drives it forward. Johnny's voice is full of excitement, like he's inviting you on the journey. It spent 19 weeks on the charts. Sadly, Johnny died in a car crash just weeks after this song peaked. Another tragic loss. Another reminder of how fragile life was. But the song lives on. Every time someone dreams of striking it rich, of heading to the wilderness, of finding their fortune, Johnny's spirit is there.
later, they found the bonanza gold below.
Exodus, Ferrante and Tyker. Number 5 is epic. This is the theme from the movie Exodus, about the founding of Israel, composed by Ernest Gold, performed by 2 classical pianists who crossed over to pop. The melody is massive, sweeping, cinematic. 2 pianos playing in harmony. Building and building until it feels like a mountain rising from the earth. This is the sound of determination, of people fighting for a homeland, of history being written. It stayed on the charts for 14 weeks, peaked at number 2. And it showed that instrumental music could compete with vocals. Sometimes you don't need words. Sometimes the music says everything. Ferrante and Tyker became household names. Concert halls, television appearances, the works, all because they made classical accessible. A Thousand Stars, Kathy Young and the Innocents. At number 4, teen romance perfection. A Thousand Stars by Kathy Young and the Innocents. Kathy was only 15 years old, recording with a doo-wop group from California. The song is about longing, looking up at the stars, wishing on every single one for the person you love.
tell me you're mine once more.
It's innocent, sweet, achingly romantic. Kathy's voice is girlish but genuine. She means every word. Low dance staple. The song you'd request at the sock hop when you finally got the courage to ask your crush to dance. Kathy never had another hit this big, but she didn't need to. This one song captured a feeling perfectly, and feelings last forever.
You're with me tonight. I catch you.
Last Date, Floyd Kramer. Number 3 is Pure Nashville Magic. Floyd was a session pianist, played on countless hits, Elvis recordings, Patsy Cline sessions. This was his moment to shine. It's an instrumental, just piano, but Floyd had a technique called the slip note, where he slides into notes instead of hitting them directly. It sounds like the piano is crying. Sighing. Remembering. The title says it all. Last Date. The final time you saw someone. The end of a relationship. And Floyd captures that melancholy perfectly. This song stayed on the charts for 17 weeks. Hit number 2. It became one of the most recognizable piano melodies of the decade. Country artists loved it. Pop audiences loved it. Everyone connected. Because everyone's had a last date. Wonderland by Night, Bert Kaempfert. At number 2, the original masterpiece, Wonderland by Night by Bert Kaempfert. Bert was a German orchestra leader. This was his breakthrough in America. It's an instrumental. Trumpet leading a lush orchestra. Strings creating a nocturnal atmosphere. The melody is elegant, sophisticated, European in the best way. It sounds like walking through Paris at midnight. Street lamps glowing. The city alive with possibility. This song spent 10 weeks at number 1. An instrumental. In 1961, Unthinkable Today. It sold over 1 million copies. Bert Kaempfert would go on to produce early Beatles recordings, discover Freddie Quinn, shape the sound of popular music for decades. But Wonderland by Night was his calling card. Proof that beauty transcends language, that melody is universal, and that sometimes silence speaks louder than words.
Do you miss me tonight?
Are you lonesome tonight? Elvis Presley. And here we are. Number 1. The King. This song was written in 1926. Elvis recorded it in 1960, released it late that year, and it dominated 1961. 6 weeks at number 1. 9 weeks in the top 10 overall. This isn't rock and roll Elvis. This isn't hip-shaking, rebellious Elvis.
Are you lonesome tonight?
This is vulnerable Elvis, heartbroken Elvis. The song has a spoken word section. Elvis recites poetry. You know, someone said that the world's a stage. It's theatrical, almost Shakespearean. His voice cracks with emotion. You can hear the pain, the longing, the desperate hope for reconciliation. The production is spare, just enough orchestration to support the emotion. Elvis was the biggest star on the planet, but here he's just a man, alone, wondering if someone out there is thinking about him too. This song showed Elvis's range, his depth, his ability to break your heart. It's one of his most covered songs, because the question is timeless. Are you lonesome tonight? We all are, sometimes.
A summer day when I kissed you.
20 songs, 20 time capsules. From teenage romance to epic instrumentals. From doo-wop to country pop. 1961 was diverse, creative, fearless. These artists took chances, sang from the heart, created music that mattered. And yeah, most people have forgotten them, but you haven't. Not anymore. If this trip down memory lane hit you right in the feels, smash that like button. Subscribe if you want more forgotten hits from every decade. And drop a comment telling me which song was your favorite, or which one you'd never heard before. Let's keep this music alive, because great songs never truly die. They just wait for someone like you to rediscover them. See you in the next one.